Welcome back everyone to Lammas Creations DIY. My name is Tammy. Today I am joining in on the Crafting Cousins and Our Green Acres Thrift Flip Road Trip Open Challenge. It is hosted by the lovely ladies over at the Crafting Cousins and Our Green Acres. For this Thrift Flip Road Trip, I am bringing you into Canada, Northern Ontario, a little place called Englehart. Let's start crafting. So what I have here is a lantern. Someone made it. It was like a candle lantern. Looks kind of like this. So what I'm going to do is basically take it all apart. I had my husband help me do it because little pins were holding the top on, so I needed him and his strength to pull it all out. But I'm just going to take out all the glass, take off that little thing on top, I don't even know what it's called, and the handle, of course. Then we're going to give this entire piece a really good sanding. Some of the pieces were pretty rough, but we got it nice and smooth. Taking some painter's tape, I'm going to, on the underside of the lid, tape off where the holes that I want to fill, and then fill them in with some wood filler, because I wasn't going to be using those holes. And then because some of these pieces on the side, the braces, were kind of holy along the way, I don't know what from, so I just took some wood filler and filled those in as well. And then, of course, again, taking my sander and sanding it all down. And then we use a cloth, a little damp cloth, and to clean it all up. And that's me just cleaning it all up, taking off the painter's tape because I didn't want it to seep through. And now we're going to paint these parts here in the Folk Art sheepskin chalk paint. And I gave them 2 coats. Then taking some more of that chalk paint and mixing in some red, I mix up this really pretty pink. And I paint the top, both sides, and the rest of the lantern, and I give those 2 coats as well. Taking some sisal rope, I'm going to, instead of reusing that other handle, I'm going to glue it down onto one side, and then I do the same on the second side. Taking some cleaning solution, I'm going to clean the little glasses one by one and then push all them in. I do 3 at first. So then this way, the 4th one, I can add in my candle and all my florals, and I just picked some nice pretty springy florals and just added it around the candle. I would suggest using a battery operated candle. I just had none at the time, so I'm just showing you how a candle could look like on the inside. Or you could just leave out the candle and fill it in with some nice pretty florals or anything you like. Now using my snips, I'm clipping off, going down about 1 inch, just clipping off some of those little pegs because I didn't want them to come through, putting on the roof. This took a little bit of finagling, but I got it on. And then I have this really pretty ribbon that I picked up at Dollar Tree, and this other one is from Dollarama. It's a little bit different. I'm going to fold those pieces in half. Those are going to be the tails. Scrunching that up in the middle, and then I scrunch up and add in the tails. Tie it in the middle with some jute rope, a couple of knots with a little bit of hot glue in between the knots. And then I'm going to glue it on top and use the tails to hide those holes on the top, just with a little bit of hot glue. Trim off the ends to match the top, and when you're done that, this project is complete. Here is a reminder of what it looked like before and what it looks like now. I'm in love with it. It's quite the transformation. I'm in love with the pink and the white. I stepped out of my comfort zone and tried something a little bit different. And it's still kind of rustic looking. It's beautiful. I love it. And I hope you like it too. Second craft. I have this little case. It's a poker case. It holds all your chips in it. Comes with little trays on the inside. So what I'm going to do first is taking the trays out, and of course that mat that it came with as well. I'm not going to use the little trays that are in it. I'm just going to put those aside and probably use them for a different craft. Then we're going to take this apart, taking all the hinges off, and there's a cute little knob on the drawer that I am going to reuse. I take all that off as well. Taking some black chalk paint from Folk Art, we're just going to paint the entire thing with the black. And the reason why I did this is because that was such a dark red color. I wanted to make sure that it was going to hide when I put on my next color. Everything got one good coat of this black paint, excuse me. Then taking my mixture of house paint and baking soda, we're going to again paint the entire box with this color. The entire thing, front, back, up, down, in between, all around. It's a really nice beige color, nice and neutral. I'm not too worried about getting the glass because we're going to be covering that up. Now that everything is painted, and I gave it 2 coats, I think maybe 3. I got, if you remember from Pandahall, I picked out these velvety sheets, I guess you can call them. What I'm going to do is lay it on the inside and with my fingers score it along the side, cut off the extra, and because these are sticky on the other side, you can peel it off, and I just peeled it off and stuck it right on the inside. I did it to this little part, and I also did it on the inside of that little drawer. Make it all nice and soft on the middle. Now I printed this off on tissue paper, and what I'm going to do is with a little bit of Mod Podge, I'm going to put some down onto my project, lay the tissue paper on top, and then with your paintbrush always wet with Mod Podge, you go over the tissue paper and smooth it down onto your project, pouncing on it wherever there's any little bubbles. And then I also did this one on the back as well. It needed a little something on the back, so I thought a fleur-de-lis would look pretty there. I picked out this fabric, I think I got it off of Amazon, and I cut down a piece of foam board, and we're going to cover this foam board with this fabric. Just using some hot glue, I'm going to glue the foam board on top of the fabric. A generous amount of hot glue, as I could see. And then using my rotary tool, I'm going to cut around the fabric. And then we're going to glue the fabric onto the back side of the foam board. Then I cut off another, oh, not yet, I didn't. I'm showing you how I did the edges. I just folded them in like a present and glued them down like that. There, now I took I cut another piece of fabric, made a hem all the way around, just with some hot glue, and then we're going to glue that on the back side so we can pretty up the underside of this foam board. And it fits so far. Now using some Eileen's tacky glue for most of the part. And then I use a little bit of hot glue in the corners and some on the middle. We're going to stick it on top to cover that glass. You could have left it at the glass as it is, but I actually kind of like this better. I'm using this to hold remotes in the living room, and this way it'll hide it. I'm going to put on the little handle back on, and when you're done that, this project is complete. Oh no, you gotta put everything back together. When you're done that, this project is complete. Here's what it looks like before. And here's what it looks like now. I love it. Sorry about the dirty painted hands. That's what happens when I paint. I holds the remotes in the living room perfectly. They're hidden out of the way, and we always know where they are. I would like to thank Kay and Trish from the Crafting Cousins and Teresa from Our Green Acres for hosting this wonderful road trip, Thrift Flip Road Trip. Their channel links will be in the description box along with the playlist. I sure do hope you come along for the ride and check out everybody else's thrift flips. I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and we'll see you again next time. Bye!